Well, good afternoon. It's, wow, good for you, Sean. Nice. It's a great day to be alive. July 28th. Zedman says check. UBNT. What's your thesis, Zedman? July 28th, 2 p.m. We're going to do sorry, I was just looking at another chart there. We're going to do another masterclass session, and this is on washout snapbacks. This will be a quick one. I'll have you out by about 2:30, 2:35. I'll just wait for Zedman's thesis here real quick, and then we'll get into it. Nice. Let's take a look. UBNT. I never traded this one. Oh, it's got a nice gap fill possible there too. Yeah, Reed was on it. Nice chart. So that came off at earnings, I would think, eh? Oh, perfect timing for the class we're doing, actually, because that's a washout. Doesn't have to be on the last day. That's sweet. That's a really nice chart. Very interesting. It's a little tough around the 200, like the way it respects it, but man, when it gets going, it gets going. There's a lot of synergy in the chart too. And look what happened last time. And the next time, and the next time. Sesame Street trading. Yep. Well, thanks for the gift. It's a great one. That's going on the watch list. Okay. Do you have any questions about UBNT real quick, or obviously you've done your homework? You've done your fundamentals obviously on it too. So it's just a matter of it getting some mojo. 50 through the 100. So your 20, 50, 100's on the right side. You just got to get them over that 200 now. So you're probably going to get your pop when that 20 gets through that 200. Huh. Might not go this time. It might take one more, but sure setting up, isn't it? Oh, it's got earnings coming up. That's it. 6 days. Great chart. Cool. Thanks. Okay. So if I may, I'm going to use this one as an example. AMSC. Love this one. You can use that as an example. And PDLI. So real quick, and I don't want to waste any time on this because we got to move. I really, I hate to be selfish, but I really want to get some diving done, and I'm sure you guys have lots, that you can do. More important. what was I going to say? Oh yeah. What I need you to do is just make sure that you go to the, I won't even go there. You guys can do it. Go to the pre-market report from today. Actually, I threw it out to the whole world. And so it's right on here. And the password was something about buying Mama a new dress. Please review it. The reason why you have to review it is what's really important, and I promised our stakeholders, I promised that I would pound the table on this, that we have Monday, Tuesday, whenever they give me the green light, I start trading for our private fund, right? And what's really important about that is my frequency goes up. The type of trades that I'll take too will go up and change, right? So things like, I've been like screaming about trades, low floaters like QBAC, for example, QBAK. Well, that's one as a more skilled trader, I'll trade, but when I'm trying to teach people, I won't. So there's all kinds of dynamics there that I want people to be aware of, because a lot of people follow my trades and they're not supposed to. They're supposed to follow my trades. Not condoned. They're supposed to follow my trades for awareness of what's going on and also to learn from my mistakes and my wins. And the trade alerts, I won't be able to fire every trade alert. I'll try and get them out. The types of trades, and I just explained that, they can change because I need a certain amount of width, right? Because it's my last 24 months of trading. I'm going to retire. And it's my legacy time, and so I'm going for 100% a month. Very low chance of hitting it, but my minimum requirement is 25, and I'm hoping to hit at least 50. Compounded, right? So to get a calculator, compound that out, and you'll get an idea what's going on. I need wide width. I need volatile. I need aggressive stuff. So you got to be careful. That's what I'm saying with the type of trades. Trade sizing. So my alerts are not going to broadcast to the world. It's a private fund, so we're not gonna broadcast the size. So the trade sizing that you see will be appropriate to my everyday day trading sizing. The ROI objective is there, and the term of the project is 24 months, and that's for a private fund. So I'm supposed to pound the table on that until we get going, and so I just did. Thanks for listening. There's also a really important watch list in that, and a few other things that are important. Okay, so a washout. Trading a washout snapback scenario. The reason why it's so important right now for me to review this with you is that exactly on our private fund, right? Because the washouts, when they get going, they get really aggressive. The actual washout itself is very aggressive, but I don't trade the washout. I'm not a short sell trader. Now, I got to be careful because I will go there by myself and I'm not teaching. But it's a whole other, it's like options, right? It's a whole other program. It's like being a fundamental trader, a whole other program. I'm a technical trader, and technically there's certain setups I work with because I gotta train and teach people to win. And so I'm dealing with the most highly probable, predictable, trainable setups available, if that makes sense. So, not the guy to teach you how to short stocks right now. Although part of this series there is a component of the curriculum for it, but it's not in depth. Okay, so how do I do this? So what I do is when I'm searching for washouts, when I'm searching for excellent trade setups, I do exactly the same thing, only backwards, and I'm going to do it really quick. So I just take the downs for the day and I click on them, and then I'm looking for, the first one takes a while to load, but every one after goes faster. What I'm looking for is one that's washed out, that's setting up properly. So the MAs are starting to cross and the momentum's starting to happen, and it's got a nice gap fill, right? Because that's what I need. So what I do then is, so this is a daily, right? This is a washout for the day, down 26%. I'll bring it down the time frames, usually 5 minutes, but for the sake of this, we're going to bring it down to a minute. At least at first here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so it's the washout, and since it washed out earlier today, this is what it's done. Basically straight over. I'm looking for it to capture MAs. So before indicators, so before my squeeze momentum, my MACD, my stock RSI, or my volume, what I'm mostly looking for is recapture of MAs. So you see how on the 1 minute it captured the 20, failed at the 50, and then it failed at the 20. Well, that's no good. What you want it to do is you want it to catch the 20, fail at the 50, come back to the 20, fail at the 100, come back to the 50, fail at the 200, come back to the 100, and go. Now, if you get that, right, where it bounces in between, you know, something similar to that, right? Simple Sesame Street. Is it going up or down? If you get that, then what you do is you bring your time frames up. So now you go to your 3 minute. Now, this one, of course, doesn't even make it on the 1 minute. So let's go back to the 1 minute for 2 seconds here. And let's go to our washouts for the day. And you'll see how fast this goes once you get going on it. See, I have it set on my 1 minute. This is MSTR off 21% for the day. Washed out. And you'll see this trade more than anything else. You'll see it more than my high breakouts, my up and goes. You'll see it more than my 200-day recaptures because it's got more velocity for higher return. It's just harder to trade. You need a little more skill. It's not as trainable, easily transferable to other people. And that's why I like to train and teach the 200-day first to get people on the winning side. Anyway, this is junk. So this is just not good. I mean, it's kind of there, but it's kind of not, right? It's not real clean. It's a spaghetti mess. CASH. This is a real mess. So I think you get the idea. So you do that. And then if you can't find it on the 1, then you have to move up to your 3 or your 5 and take a closer look. But really, I mean, if you wanted to keep it really simple, all you do is you just, you know, visually in your mind or your mind's eye, all you're doing is you're looking at the trend. You just want to see, okay, it washed out to there, I'm trading right now. Is that going up or is it going down or is it flat, right? You want to see a trend line start to build. But you want to see the recapture of the MAs. You want them all on the right side. In other words, 200, 100, 50, 20. Then you want to see the 20 go through the 50 with price above. And you want to see that work through. ECOHO. Wow, EchoStar. Or this isn't EchoStar. Is this EchoStar? I think it is. What happened to EchoStar? Oh no, it's not. I don't know, I had a brain challenge there. This is what you want. So, you know, doesn't really do anything, stays flat, comes off, and all of a sudden your volume comes in. So, you know, you're watching your volume, of course, too. But really what you're watching is you're watching for this. Now this really started to take off. Now, unfortunately, it stopped at the 200 on the 1. So, oh no, it didn't. It got up over. Okay. So we're going to look at this one close. So you're going to see how these trade on these MAs really precisely. But that's why a more experienced trader can really do well here. So anyway, pops here at the 20, gets through the 200. So that tells you right off the bat, okay, let's go here. Let's look at our 3 minute. It popped. It didn't get through the 100. It stopped before the 100. Okay, not the best, but at least it's got some Momo, right? So that would be on a short list. What you'd want is you'd want this to start to work through on the 3 minute. And of course, what happens is you're not just working with the ones for the day, because you build a watch list of these, and they all have a process and a timeline, right? Some of them take 3 months, some of them take a month, some of them take, you know, only a day. Anyway, the point is as you get up to time frames, say up to the 5 or the 15 or even the 30, then you start to get nice width, right? Tighter time frames, smaller width. But I think you get the point. And then as you're trading through, so we're on the 3 minute, by the way, right now. Eventually, you'll just go on the 5, and you won't even go below that. But I'm using the 1 and 3 just as an example. So this one hasn't even got a 3. BAS, what a piece of junk. Okay, so that's the general idea. So that's what you're looking for, like when you actually go through your watch list. Then you know, get into these kind of stocks. So let's go with AMSC real quick first. So this has got a fantastic gap fill, of course. Then you look at, you know, how's it done in the past? So look at your basic symmetry, right? Last time it fell off, how far did it fall off? How long did it fall off? And where did it get going? How far did it fall off? How long did it fall off? And you know, where did it get going and how much did it get going? And what did it do? It stopped at the 200. Okay. And you do that each time. How far did it fall off? How long did it fall off? And when did it get going? Is it divergent or is it doing the same thing, right? So you can plan through it. And you'll find that if you do that and you go through the whole chart, and then once you understand how to model, right? We're doing the algorithm models on Tuesday or Wednesday. Monday we're not teaching. Tuesday to Friday we do 2 o'clock, right? But anyway, the point is that on Tuesday we're doing morning breakouts, gap and goes, that type of thing, momentum stocks. Then Wednesday we're doing algorithmic modeling. So you would actually build your model around it, and then you'd know where to trade it. But first, you make sure. So you know, you do your history on the chart, you do all of your symmetry, your model, build it all out, get it ready. Once you know that you actually got the indicators on your side, that it's going to get some Momo. So then you go to your 5 minute, or 3, or 1, or whatever your time frame is that's comfortable. See, for me to hit 100% a month, I need 20 days of about 3% a month, right? Now that 20 times 360, but if you compound it a bit, you can get to 100% pretty quick. So to get it to 100%, I have to trade it, you know, on the 5 minute, not on the 1 or the 3. And if you just do some math, you'll figure it out. So you know, if I did 3 trades a day at 1% a trade, I'm good. But to get any more than 1% on a day trade when you're sniping stuff, right? So that's kind of how it works. Anyway, on the 5 minute, see how it's coming through. Now it's not real precise, but it's still coming through. Not perfect, but you know, you can take a straight line and draw it. So on the 5 minute, it's not so bad. So I'd be watching this for a break. I would set an alarm for it to break that 200. And once it gets up over the 200, then I would trade it the way that I was showing you how to trade north on, you know, the daily and the break of the 200, or on the weekly break of the 200. And then as it gets grip and you get up into the bowl of the 5 minute, then you move it up your time frames, and you just move up your 15, 30, 45. Then you get, well, 45 I don't trade, but I go 15, 30 hour, 4 hours, sometimes 2 hour, and then back up to your daily. And then through that process, your gap is starting to fill. So until it catches that 5 minute 200 though, it's really tricky. Like it'll just very often just keep failing. But once it gets the 5 minute, and you can check the chart, right? So you check the history of the chart. Once it gets the 5 minute though, it'll typically go. And then you'll get the interim gaps. So that's the whole goal, is to get those interim gaps. And like this gap happened at on the 20th, yeah, end of day, right? So that gap, that's not very old. That's what you want. So, you know, once it gets 5 minute. Now I'm not showing you a great example here because it hasn't happened yet, but this is how this works. So this is how you kind of time where you get in, and of course you're going to use your indicators when it's time to really, you know, focus in on the kill and get your entry. And a lot of the gurus, I see them talk about how entries aren't that important. I actually disagree with that. Now, sure, your exit is way more important than your entry, but I believe entries are critical. If you learn how to do your entries and you learn how to do them with the power part of price trigger, power trade, risk reward, if you learn how to get in the power part of the trade, you're going to just look at my oil trade from today, right? You know, 90% of my trades, they'll get momentum very shortly after. Really what's happening is I'm seeing the momentum really early because I'm on a really tight time frame and I can see it coming, right? And I also have the algorithm model, which helps a lot because that tells me where those pockets are. But anyway, the point is, once you've got your entry, then it's a matter of, okay, did it get over the 5 minute? And then you want it to prove itself through the MAs, and you'll see me trade through them next week. The point here is that, so your gap is going to be around, say, 360 to, call it 4.25, 4.25, something like that. Well, what is that in percentage? Well, that's, 360 to 4.25, without taking out a calculator, it's probably 30%. So I don't need much of that move, because I need 3% a day. That's all I need. Right now, I'm not going to go full Monty when I hit it, but I'm going to hit it pretty aggressive. Like, you'll see me hit these, like you'll see me scale through them pretty fast. Every time I gain another MA, I'll be in another leg. So five MAs. Well, there's 4 MAs, but your fifth is over your fourth, right? So I'll be like 20%, 40%, and then onward, 60, 80, 100, and then out. But that's what'll happen. You'll see this get up over its 5. If it gets there, right? If it gets up over its 5 and it proves over, it'll be getting up over its 5 into the gap fill. The most recent 5-minute gap fill. And that's really how simple it is. Now, where do you turn out of it? It depends on your objectives, right? Your time frame. If you're high frequency, at most you're trading on your 15-minute. But I'm trading on my 5 normally, high frequency, right? Normally, if I'm not high frequency, I'm trading my weekly, daily, and maybe my 60-minute. So I'm entering on my daily or my 60 or my weekly. So wide frame. So say on my daily, I'm entering, and on my 60-minute or my 30-minute on the downturn, when it confirms, I'm exiting. Well, on high frequency trading, I'm entering on my 5 or my 15, and I'm exiting on my 1 or 3. Because my MAs have turned on me, and on the turn, when the MAs turn on me, like right here, and the 20 comes through the 50 and price is underneath, I'm out right there when those MAs turn. But that would be on the 1 or the 3, and I'm trading my entry on the 5 or the 15. Okay, so that's the basic premise. The indicators down here, they all work the same way. So your MACD, your squeeze momentum, your stock RSI, your volume, especially your volume, and your velocity of volume works the same way. And then your other indicator, so let's take, I'll just show you guys this indicator really quick because I have 4 or 5 minutes. And I'll show you how this works. So which one got going? FSLR, right? So we'll see. Now this indicator doesn't work on every stock, and you have to search the history on the time frame that you're trading. But I'll show you what I mean. And I just use this as an extra on tight time frames. And I think that Greg Scott had seen it before, because I was trading a little bit at tight time frames, I think, when Greg first came in. When I was in Panama, we were setting up our offices in Panama. Greg was in our room at that time, if I recall properly. Okay, so here's FSLR. Now, my indicators are MACD, stock RSI, and the squeeze momentum indicator at the bottom. Now that I use, that's my typical setup, right? My indicator setup. I use another setup when I get really tight and I'm going through high frequency trades, and this is funky stuff, right? So this is proprietary in the way that it's somebody that's coded it on TradingView, but I use it sometimes if it proves itself out. So here's FSLR on a 5-minute. This is a chart bot that tells me buy and sell. Now, if you see this blue here where it signaled to buy, it was right. Where it signaled to sell, it was right. It missed this sell. This buy is pretty decent. That sell is not the best, and it gets tighter. But it nailed the important one. Now, why would I trust it? I don't really trust it, but I use it as a secondary. And then what I've also got on this one is a true strength indicator. So what I'll do is I'll have both sets up, right? So this one's got a true strength indicator here. It's got my stock RSI here, and it's got an awesome oscillator at the bottom. So those are different indicators here. And then I've got my Ichimoku my MAs, my volume, and my VWAP all in here. So when I'm trading tight, I'll use those and I'll show you how all those work. So basically, that's the deal. And then once you get up and you're going, the objective, the full objective, is to recapture that 200 and say bye-bye. And now you're into that discipline of above the 200 on the daily and trading that, and then hopefully you get to the bull and you trade it through the bull for that rush. So let's look at FSLR. So what time was this at? Yesterday. So what time did it take off here today? Oh, see, there's a buy signal in FSLR right there, 12:20. So we were in our midday. So that would have been right around the time that we were talking about it. And then Sean, you took your position. Interesting. So it's FSLR. I want to just see it on the daily here real quick. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, really nice. So I'll just go back to the regular indicators here. 35% gain in 2 hours. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We nailed her, man. We timed her. Got some good timing on that one. The tight time frames trading, if you're good at it and you learn it and you cut quick, the returns, you know, a swing trader can't keep up. It's not possible. But you have to be good and you have to execute with, you know, radical, you know, serious precision. Like you have to be serious. You can't. You know, there's no fooling around. It's a different mindset. Okay, so I'm in, I believe I'm in Discord. I believe I have my volume up. So if you have any quick questions, go ahead and ask either in there or in the trade room by text. But congrats, Sean. By the way, thanks Z-Man, appreciate it. I would hold that, Sean, for sure. I can confidently say I would be holding that one. Yeah. The only reason I'm not in it right now or in any of the other ones is because I cleared my portfolio to get ready for Monday, Tuesday. So I just don't want to complicate things. Hey, Sean. Good. Nice to hear from you. I mean, like verbally, right? Thanks. Get me off the moon. So you know you're talking to somebody as opposed to the computer. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Quick question. When you're trading the day frames, you start with the one and you work backwards. One time, and then when you're trading the other way, you go from the 1 year and you tighten your time frame, right?
So when I'm about to exit, so when I'm looking for my exit, I bring my time frames tighter. When I'm looking for my entry, my time frames are wider. So on, let's say on a swing, my entry, I'll try and get it set up on the weekly. If I can't, you know, and I have to go to the daily, I will, to get a good setup, right? To hit the entry, and that's why on the daily I always look for the that 200, right? So, but the point is I'm working off the daily. So Sean's question was on time frames, basically, is what it comes down to, the exits and the entries. So yeah, the swing side of it, I'll try and time my entry on a wide time frame like a daily or a weekly chart. On the day trades, I'll try and time my entry on a 5 or 15 and my exit on a 1 or 3. On the swing, I'll try and time my exit on a 60-minute. So basically, does that help?
Perfect, thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Sean. Have a good weekend, man. Anybody else have any? So I think, Trace, the reason you didn't pick up Sean was in the, you have to have the volume on in that Discord, but you'd have to talk to Sartaj too, technically. I'm very slow. Okay, so that looks like, oh, wait a sec, we might have one quick question here. The buy-sell indicator called on TradingView. Buy-sell indicator. Oh, that chart bot? Let's go find it. And you know what, if I can't answer this question, because I'm, the computer guys, what they call me is a power user, right? So I just want to give you one quick example. The Epic algorithm, I designed that, right? And I have all kinds of mathematicians question me and technical guys question me, and I frustrate them because I tell them, well, I could see it. They're like, what do you mean you could see it? And I'm like, I was trading oil and I could see the algorithm. And they're like, okay, you could see it. Great, that helps us a lot, right? Or music, I can play pretty much any instrument. Why? Because I can see the music. So the same thing applies to anything to do with anything like this. So I'm really actually clueless about most things that I'm doing. Like if you dig underneath and you look underneath what I do and ask me a question like what Greg just asked, it's like, I don't know what it's called. I haven't got a clue, but let's go find it and see if we can figure it out. I'm just a power user, I just use it. Anyway, I wanted to explain that about my personality. So, you know, yeah. It's important. Sometimes it becomes important. Okay, so it's on this. Maybe price channel strategy. Now, the thing I've learned about this is that it either works really well or really poorly. And if I haven't got that right, price channel strategy, if you don't mind, ask Sartaj. But yeah, see, it's right here, the name of it, price channel strategy. Maybe I can find out a little more information here. Will this tell me, Greg? So this tells me how it was coded, right? Because the source code is right here. Anyway, that's it. I'm sure it is. Yeah, and they even have the code right there. Price channel strategy. Some it works fantastic, some it doesn't. So you got to check the history. But man, when it works and you get it lined up with your traditional indicators and you get your algorithm model lined up and you get the 3 side by side and you start trading tight, nobody can compete with you. It does work really well when it works. And when it doesn't work, it's really bad. So, okay, any other questions? Oh yeah, Reed had it nailed down. See, these guys, especially the younger guys, right? They know all this technical stuff. Me, I'm like, you know, give me a beer and send me to the beach. Just wait for Geert. For more indicators, you need the premium account at TradingView. And TradingView doesn't get, like, it's not expensive at the beginning, but I think it gets fair. Well, mind you, we don't pay that much. Like I don't know what it costs a month. Like we might pay $100 a month or something. Wow, $50 a month. I'm not sure. Cool. And I think Sartaj has it set up so that if you guys subscribe and it has something to do with our partnership with them, it's beer money for us, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, awesome. You guys are awesome. Best members on the internet. Just saying. Yes, Gold Sunday for sure. We're going to put out we're going to do a number of webinars. For sure. And I'll lead. And you guys have a great weekend. You too, Trace. Thanks for being a great crew. I mean that. You guys are awesome. You guys have been fantastic. You've had to put up a lot of crap with this guy. I'm cheering. I'm going diving. Have a great week. I'm going to hit stop now. I'll get the videos out tonight, by the way, when I get back.